easier. Yeah, it'll be good. It doesn't matter about me. As long as you can see the fro, they know it's me. They're like, there's Eli. I knew he was somewhere in this podcast.
There's distinguishable.
Yeah, exactly. But guys, everybody, I don't know if y'all are avid listeners, if you see my previous episodes, but I got 2 reoccurring guests on. But this is more than just a regular, Sponcast podcast episode. This is actually a new journey that all of us here actually today have been talking about for a bit, and finally, I'm excited to have y'all here today. Seriously, these are 2 individuals I met through the cannabis community. They have done a lot, even since I first met them a little over a year ago now. Mm-hmm. You guys both individually have done your part, either politically, socially, some way to help connect individuals in the community together. So, guys, just for people who don't know you from the previous episodes, talk about yourself and what got you inspired to get into this industry, cannabis industry.
I don't think my mic is on.
Wait, oh shit.
Oh no. Is my mic on?
Wait.
How do we know?
Oh wait, okay. Let me put the headset volume. Okay, can you hear yourself right now? No. Talking to mic real quick.
I can't hear anything.
I can hear you.
I can't.
I can. Wait, let me see which one. Guys, technical difficulties. Beep. I'm gonna keep this on. All right, so hear that.
I love that you still have it going. You can start. Oh, there we go.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
You can hear now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's weird because it's so weird. There's some of them on my headphones where I can't completely put it in. I gotta slightly pull out, be like, and it just works perfectly. I've realized this in the past 3 episodes I've had. I'm like, what the heck?
All good.
Forget that little technical difficulty. So Lana, tell me how you got into this cannabis industry and what inspired you to want to be a voice in it.
Well, I am Lana. I pretty much kind of work with the cannabis community of Virginia. I really am more of on the advocating for community outreach side. How I got into it was I was just an avid user, and I feel like if there are other people that identify with that, then they should probably be on board with this. But using this kind of community and using these kinds of meetings to meet new people and network with other people and create even more projects and opportunities for the rest of Virginia to follow suit, I think is very important for us as citizens of Virginia, no matter where you're from, truly. I mean, if Virginia is so truly diverse and it is so commonly wealthy in that way, why not put those advantages and opportunities to good use that would actually stimulate things in our community for the better?
Facts. Especially local business owners who do, or even family, businesses who've been under the, been underground growing cannabis for years and years, getting to really master it. And it's now it's finally time. It's such an even more an obstacle than ever just to become legal or whatever, because you have big corporations, right? And stuff like that. It's insane. Yeah. And what about you, Sarah? What got you into this community?
My name is Sarah. I'm originally from California. I worked in medical marijuana dispensaries back in 06, 07, 08. That was insane. Got out of cannabis for, on and off throughout the last, I think, 15, 20 years. I'm really aging myself.
Mm-hmm. If you guys know how to do math, you figure it out.
Right. So I kind of came to the realization that you never really get out of cannabis. I've used it for, honestly, healing myself. I have a lot of anxiety, depression, PTSD from life not being so kind. I feel like anybody can resonate with that sentiment. And I truly believe in advocating for small business in cannabis, the legacy market, if you want to call it something, for people that want to label it in more of a nefarious term, I guess the black market. But I think that there are very reputable small businesses, people who have been healing themselves and each other throughout the prohibition process. And it's not fair that we are going to get steamrolled by multi-state operators and by people who simply just have more money than we do. Paul Stamus, he's the father of psilocybin, said that some of our most valuable people are in the amateur healing markets. And I really want to bring back that plant medicine and healing aspect to cannabis. It's not just recreational. It's not, a party drug. It is a plant and it heals people. And I believe that in the core of my being.
Oh, that's awesome. I can hear it in your passion, like the passion, seriously.
I know. I try not to cry half the time.
Yeah. No, that's, if anything, even cry those tears. Let that emotion out.
You have to have a stoicism because these politicians are not going to take you seriously. Just working on that emotional piece and, it's tough. It's hard out here. We have to come together as a community.
No, and you said exactly that. It's good to have people like yourself who have, people who because it's so crazy when you say, politicians won't take you seriously. Well, motherfucker, fuck y'all. You've been lying to our faces for goddamn years. So you're telling us to fucking fuck you. We should be,
right.
But it's good, like you said, as a community to have all different walks of life in the cannabis field, whether it be business entrepreneurs, artists who work in the field, it's just good to have those different mindsets around.
Right.
So. Oh, my fault. I muted you for a second because I've been trying to control the echo on the side. I didn't mean that. No disrespect.
You're good. No, but it's good to have, like you said, it's good to have that diversity and that opportunity to build with the community what you can just see. There's so much to grow out here, and it's crazy that we don't do it. So, all the more and there's a stigma behind cannabis. There's a stigma behind potheads. There's a stigma behind stoners and everything. But us potheads, us stoners, us whatever, we create really beautiful things. We are very, very capable of doing that. And if we are able to be given the chance to do it in the ways that help represent, ethical values, fair use, safeguards, research and development, academics and advocation, those are all things that matter to a community, and we should be highlighting those things if cannabis means that much to all of us.
And it's great to even just have these conversations as well, because I feel like a lot of people, even though it's, it's becoming more normalized, there's still people out there that are in fear that, it could ruin their reputation, their livelihoods, because it's still obviously, a Schedule 1, or did they reschedule it? I know it was a year or something ago.
It is still federally a Schedule 1 narcotic, which is listed more dangerous than heroin, is it Narcan? No, not Narcan. Fentanyl. Fentanyl is the one I was looking for. It's scheduled more dangerously on the federal through the FDA and DEA. It's scheduled higher or lower, I guess, because it's a Scheduled 1 than heroin and fentanyl, which is insane. So collectively, as a whole nation, not even just a state, we really have to get the FDA and DEA. So the Food and Drug Administration and the DEA kind of work simultaneously on passing the ball back and forth of the deregulation of cannabis. So what we need it is to be completely deregulated in order to be able to move forward and make sure that our rights as citizens, our constitutional rights, are upheld, like concealed carry rights, to name one, and kind of just medical use all across the board for all of the states. There is still a lot of hoops to jump through. A lot of people do not want to put their name down on a medical marijuana card because it puts them at risk of losing their, DOD licensing, their security clearances, their jobs, depending on some people work remotely from different states, and depending on the state's regulations on cannabis and restrictions, if your job is based out of Nebraska, then you work in Virginia where it's legal. If you have a negative drug test, you could still get fired from your job for cannabis.
Damn. It's just we destroy livelihoods over a plant that has,
Correct.
even though there's not these government funded research programs and studies that are out there for us to look back on for longevity, all this stuff, but it's just, when they're so hard on cannabis, when you look at going back to fentanyl, I believe it's close to 80 or 90,000 deaths inhibited to a year, or I'm not going, don't quote me on that, I'm a little stupid on that one. So, but I know it's still something that's a big issue in this country, and it's why is that not being targeted like fentanyl? When there's obviously we see such benefits in livelihoods, there's children who have epileptic seizures, or just a plethora of health efficiencies they can help them with that.
It takes it back to a larger, more nefarious agenda on that on the side of like pharmaceutical companies. I'm like, oh, I'm like staring at the wall.
No, you're good. Yeah, if you want to look at the camera, say, hey, what's up?
It's kind of,
It's our first time, guys.
tells a story of like, just plant medicine as a whole being kind of marginalized and sold as snakeskin oil in like the early 1900s, when they started using petroleum for pharmaceuticals. And you'd be surprised how much like actual crude oil is used to make the pharmaceuticals that we ingest today. So it's a larger part of it's a smaller part of a large story, I guess I could say, of just criminalizing plant medicine and herbal medicine as like a whole, and cannabis ties very well into that. I was talking with somebody the other day who let me know of a very scary statistic that 22 veterans die of opioid overdoses a day. 22 a day, because they can't sleep, they wake up with horrible night terrors, they take more opioids, and they take one too many and die in their sleep. Cannabis doesn't do that to people. Cannabis doesn't kill people in their sleep. I was talking to this person, and they told me that it's actually gone up to 63 veterans a day. And I don't quote me on that. I don't have the actual figures on that, but he said that it's more like 63 veterans a day, because they're not in the medical system. They're not labeling it as death by opioids. They're labeling it as death by suicide. Well, is it suicide if you accidentally wake up and take a few more pills, just 1 or 2 more pills than that's allotted, and it stops your heart and respiratory system? So those are pretty crazy facts that kind of stay with me. And every time I feel like giving up and stopping this community meeting, I mean, Lana knows just as well. She's been with me throughout this entire process, and it has not been easy.
Well, and that's the thing, though. It takes courageous individuals to want to have to stand up to what's truly right, and especially for the ones that are voiceless as well. Especially for the veterans who have laid down their lives, who have risked some, or if not all, for us just to simply sit down right here together and talk about these conversations, or even to have them. Exactly.
If you want to be part of this narrative to change it, then be part of the conversation. There is this part of this negative stigma or anything behind it, is that we seem to be so conscious about what other people think about us, and it's not the point. Just point blank right there, if there's anybody that... Thank you. I mean, like, just point blank, if there's anybody here that's going to listen or watch this podcast, it's to know we are all in this for the same thing. And if you can't wrap your head around the fact that it's for the same thing, that we all want, what you all want, what they all want, what she all wants, what he all wants, what they all deserve, what we all deserve, then you need to show up at these conversations. And it's not like this is like a call to action for those who are ready to participate in that conversation, who are ready to change the narrative behind the negativity of cannabis or recreational use. There are economies booming. There are jobs being created. There are livelihoods that are being made. There is purpose that is being given. There is art being created. There is music being made. And, if you don't want to get behind the conversation, then you will see the results behind that, which is counterproductive.
Damn. Yeah. Just gotta give you another round of applause. Thank you, audience. Appreciate y'all coming here to this kitchen. Y'all are great. Now, and that actually remind me of a quote. It's people who sit on the fence are bound to be pierced by it.
Yep.
And that really hit me, because it's like, damn, a lot of people, and I think the majority of them, like people in the world, not even just America, is just people are live and let live, just do your thing. But how long are you going to let something let live, in a sense of like, until they encroach on your freedoms and your rights? And like you said, look at, just this plant has ruined lives in the sense of people either losing loved ones because they weren't able to switch to this, more healthier alternative besides, opioids and other prescriptions. It's absurd. It's baffling to me. And I want to ask you guys, like, because honestly, I was just thinking about in this conversation, like, what what are things you want? You know, this is our first episode, so I kind of want people to understand like what what are the goals you want to see like for the future of this episode, like this podcast in general. Like, I know, Lana, you're telling me you want like start having like people in politics, you know, governors, maybe even like senators or like people,
I want
like,
y'all to show up.
Yeah,
Show up and listen.
Show up and show out.
yeah, we watching y'all. All right.
But other than that, I think I'm to
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I was just going to ask, like, you know, have people like that on, like have other individuals of the cannabis industry on, like what are ideas you want to throw on this thing, you know, because this is, you know, I would like to hear your opinions. I know we talked about it outside the podcast, but.
Definitely. I would definitely love to have different special guests on who are willing to have that conversation that we're talking about. Like, how does this affect you? How would you see the benefits? How do you see the negatives? How do you work around the negatives? But also being able to continue to advocate in a free-form way. Some of the reasons why I didn't get into like huge media outlets or news sources is because we need more like firsthand accounts, or we need some more like local news. We need more local reporters talking about things that are actually, you know, things that we're actually passionate about. And if that is up your alley, cool, come on, join us. I'm always open to that. I have worked in a couple of nonprofits. I've worked in different unity organizations, and hope to kind of, you know, use my skill set in media management with a way that echoes out to this community to band it together more, and just continue to educate people on it and advocate for what is literally grown in the dirt. Like, if you can grow potatoes and you can grow tomatoes, you can grow okra and you can grow mangoes, like, we can grow weed. It's not that big of a deal. But I'm hoping you guys are also willing to have the conversation with us and these beautiful people.
Fuck yeah. And that's the thing, is just realizing too, I think the best part you said was like, you know, reaching out to your local communities and realizing that these are essentially your other family, you know, you know, just be, you know, a lot of people, it sucks nowadays, they've lost a disconnect of, you know, just community in general. And you guys pointed out earlier, you know, we're all affected by this, you know. It's not just us, it's not just you know what I mean, it's everybody that gets fucked up in the end, you know, on the long haul.
We all need to take an active role in ensuring that our state and our federal government doesn't over-regulate and overtax the retail cannabis market, the legal market. It's really funny because everyone's like, oh, we're going to establish a cannabis retail market. And I laugh my ass off because, honey, the cannabis retail market has been in Virginia. We've been here. We've been here for decades. Like, we have. I'm sorry. Y'all just aren't taxing it. That's your fault. So it's like, we cannot sit idly by while our politicians make our decisions for us and while they create laws. So I don't know if y'all know what the General Assembly is, and I went to my first one this year in 2023, and it was... it honestly sometimes made me sick to my stomach because I would read the LAS, which is a system where all of the bills are put through. And when I say that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of bills in this LIS system that they are voting on, it makes you feel like, how is this freedom? This isn't free. And so many people are not aware that this is going on every single year, and your elected officials are making decisions on your behalf that are not benefiting the community as a whole. So if you don't talk to your state delegates and state senators, and if you don't make a stink in their office, if you don't make those phone calls, if you don't go to their political fundraisers, if you don't email them, call them, if we don't do something about our government, we're going to be China soon.
Do something about us.
We're going to do something about us. We're going to be China soon. And I don't mean to be a conspiracy theorist. No. I genuinely want people to be motivated to take back our communities. And
that's and honestly, so that's not even a conspiracy. That's just fucking common sense. That's just a fact.
It's facts. And they make you jump through hoops. Like, I've been studying politics for a whole year now. I mean, I majored in fashion design. This is not my forte. This is hard, and it hurts my head, and the legal jargon sucks, and it's exhausting, and you feel alone, and they look at you like you're a stupid little girl who doesn't know shit. And I still get up every day. I look at the LIS. I look at, I follow people's political fundraisers. I research who voted on what in terms of cannabis and what pertains to cannabis, because, they've gone unbridled. It's politics for profit at this point, and it's not right, and I can't stand for it.
No, exactly, because you don't have, because obviously, I understand individuals, hardworking Americans every day. It's hard to keep track of all, especially shit going on now. It's politics. It's a goddamn headache. Just even think about it right now. My head's like, oh dang, it's too much to think about. It gets deep. It's deep, and I understand why.
Though, because if you can go and you be on your, what is it, the football teams.
Oh, the football fantasy shit. Yeah, I'm not into that. Honestly,
and I'm just, that's an example. If you can sit there and play video games for X amount of hours a night, if you can sit there and watch Netflix, if you can sit there and consume all of the things that they have created to keep us idle and keep us distracted, then you can spend 30 to 40 minutes a day looking up your delegate. You can spend some time prioritizing your rights in our community. And I don't mean to be rude about it, but
no,
it's like,
who'syourlegislator.com.
Yeah.
Just look it up.
Yeah.
Type in your address.
That almost sounds like a little sketchy email
Who's
you get
your
sent by the Nigerian prince.
Even just know who they are. And I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. Yeah. At this point, you need to be voting for people who best represent your ethical standpoint in life. Like, I don't play the two-party system. They divide us by race. They divide us by politics. They divide us by male, female, gay, straight. Everything that we consume in terms of any type of entertainment has a interest, and it has a bias, and it wants you to push you into that bias. And I'm tired of it. We need community. And if it starts for me in cannabis and we build and expand it to something great and beautiful, then it starts for us in cannabis.
What would what would you guys think, especially people who do want to do something but don't know, I know you said look up your legislator and all that stuff. Like, what is there any other way they can help? Maybe talk to their neighbors. Like, what do you think is something that seems more, I guess, easier way for people to start? Because I feel like, not saying people won't be able to, look up it. I just feel like a lot of people, it's just like digging into politics at that deeper level. I feel like just having that simple conversation with people like, hey, what's your opinion about cannabis, blah, 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 and stuff like that.
I mean, in terms of accessibility, what people could start doing is going on Instagram and following our tag at Cannabis Community VA. That's on Instagram. We do post a lot of different things promoting our cannabis community meetings every month. We do try to do them on a monthly basis. We understand that the summertime has been filled with family activities, so we want to make sure that everyone's, around for that kind of stuff. But we are going to be doing our next cannabis community meeting with a twist. We are doing a cannabis community craft market, which is going to be very, very different from what you think it sounds like. So don't show up if you're trying to trap out, because that's not what it is. We are trying to highlight and showcase some of Virginia's best in the local.
I'm sorry, that was funny. Don't trap out.
It is not a pop-up.
It is not.
Unfortunately,
it is not what you think it is.
You're gonna be trapping some knowledge.
We're gonna be passing twisted.
We have some amazing geneticists, though, growers, people that are learning, loving, breathing, eating the plant, who just have a true passion in craft. And then we just have good old crafters that have hemp-centric and, THC-centric models. We really just want to show people, show our legislators, show our, the powers that be, that we are not incapable of following regulations, and we're not incapable of creating, solid products. And it's bespoke products. It's handmade, small batch, ethically sourced products, not multi-million-dollar corporation products with insane chemicals in it that are just gonna cause cellular freaking damage.
Right.
I mean, you can't even go to Target anymore.
Yeah, so it's a free event. It's on August 22nd, which is a Tuesday. It starts from 5:30 to about 8-ish, where they are going to be doing the entire craft market at Grow VA, which is 1603 Virginia Beach Boulevard, Suite 103. But they're going to be doing they're going to be doing the vendors market and everything. And then by 7:00, we are going to be continuing our educational series. So for those of you who may not know who your legislator is a great time to show up and ask questions about who your legislator might be, because we can show you how to do that. We go over it through every single meeting. So for those of you who have been in our past meetings before, thank you for bearing through the redundant information. We really do appreciate it, because the more we talk about it, the more like tangible this becomes for people. And if it is not ingrained in your head, then you are not going to be talking about it. You'll probably be ignoring it, which is what we don't want you to do. So being able to come to these meetings is another accessible way to learn and educate yourselves and educate others about the community that we are trying to vouch for. So come on August 22nd. It's a Tuesday. I know y'all aren't doing anything after work. And if you are, just come for like 30 minutes. We would love to see you.
That would be the most craziest 30 minutes you've ever been at. And I was going to say, that was a great ad drop. Like, it was just like perfect. You're like, well, the best way for people to get it's go to this community. I was like, wow,
marketing.
damn, that was fucking
She
smooth.
makes me digestible, which is so great, because I'm so intense and I have so much information. I'm so ADHD, and she just makes it like light and digestible. I'm like, thank the Lord for Lana. Like, I'm so grateful.
I really do appreciate it. Can I get that applause?
Oh, hell yeah. What?
Yes, we all need a Lana.
Yeah, shout out to Lana. We have a great marketing team here, as you can tell. You know, a great team. And I fucking love it. You know, it's awesome. And guys, I was gonna say, I want to just drop a funny news story, because I was laughing because Massachusetts. Shout out to my old home state.
East Coast, Beast Coast.
Yeah, Beast Coast.
Sorry, West Coast.
Oh wait, fucking East Coast is better. We all know. Look, it was so funny, because I'm just like, I was just doing some quick news. We didn't even have to bring up any articles, but I kind of wanted to bring this one up because it's funny. So, so you obviously know the Tea Party, the Boston Tea Party, where everyone got pissed off, like, fuck you, Brits. I won't, even though I'm British, doing a British accent, but
Where's my tea?
Yeah, where's my tea? Why are you taxing my tea, bitch? So, they actually,
Did they do it with cannabis?
yeah, they did it with cannabis. Yes, they did. I'm trying to remember the name now.
They did it with hemp.
I think it was Delta Met. I'm trying to remember the company who started this thing. But yeah, basically they all had like boxes and it said weed on it. It's because IRS having such, because even compared to other businesses, it has such a obscene high taxes on it. It's like, god damn, like it's like, oh well, it's weird. It's like, why are they treating as you see regulations starting to be more, well, I'm not lenient, but at least going toward legalization and stuff, they still treat the business owner as a drug dealer, and it's just like, well, like what the like, I don't know, it's just fucked up, man.
It's because they know more than the taxer. That's why they're scared to tax.
So the DEA does not necessarily, in my opinion, want it to be legalized. If it got federally descheduled, the entire DEA would lose like an entire department, because they go after cannabis more than any other illicit drug. It's easy. It smells. It's easy to. It's bulky. It's, they can meet their quotas, and they don't want to give it up. Another reason is it's just not, the FDA will not descheduleize it because of the pharmaceutical reach within the FDA. The FDA and DEA are basically bought by the pharmaceutical companies. Pharmaceutical companies cannot patent a plant. You cannot patent anything that grows from the ground. So I've found out an interesting little tidbit of news. What is Monsanto, Roundup, and dandelions have in common?
Monsanto.
Wait,
What do they have in common?
They all kill you?
No.
They all kill you? It's like somehow dandelions kill you? I don't know.
Monsanto owns the patent for one of the most widely prescribed heart medications in the world, in the U.S.
Which is?
I don't know the name of the pharmaceutical. I'm really bad at that. Roundup kills dandelions.
Yeah.
Dandelions are pretty much like this sinister weed, but dandelion roots and consuming dandelions and their roots specifically is the single most best herb for your heart valves and reconstructing the cells within your arteries.
Really? See, and that's the crazy shit because there's so many like you said, the pharmaceuticals are just hand in hand with FDA, and it's just it's just so crazy how, and it's so. I want to go back to what you're saying, like how these amateur herbal medicine people. It's not. I don't even say amateur because these are just
amateur.
Yeah, it's just these are fucking medicines traditions that have been passed down for generations and generations of humanity. It's like how is it amateur now just because of pharmaceuticals and science? Well, pharmaceutical, we all know, man. At this point, it's just a fucking Band-Aid. Yeah. And they never fucking actually solve the issue.
It masks the issue. So, healthy eating, staying away from chemicals. And I don't want to be one of those people who's completely against pharmaceuticals. Like, what they've done in terms of medical advancement in the last 100 years is nothing short of a miracle. Though, I will say they've lost an opportunity to marry Western medicine with Eastern medicine, marry the two. I don't want to ever come off as somebody who's trying to eradicate one or the other because SSR uptake inhibitors have, helped people with mass paranoia, hysteria, etc. But on the other hand, there are equivalent plants that can help with pain management. There are equivalent plants that can help with antibacterial and antimicrobial properties. We don't need to be shoving chemicals and bioengineered products down our throats, putting it on our skin.
Bayer. It's Bayer.
Oh, Bayer. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Wait, was it?
By Monsanto.
Oh.
They also own Roundup.
I was going to say, Monsanto bought off Bayer, right?
And Alka-Seltzer.
Yep.
Damn. And that's another crazy thing. I was listening to a podcast today, and they were talking about how these three companies, BlackRock, and these two other companies, basically own. It's way more than monopoly. They own like 88% of the STP stocks and business. I'm like, wow. So they literally rule the world. They literally have. This is a whole other fucking topic, but I can get into it. If you guys want to dig into a rabbit hole,
next episode.
Yeah, literally.
It really is. I mean, I know we're at our 30 minutes, but I can go.
Oh, it's fine. We can. I was given like 30 to 40 minutes max, so we can keep going. We can go a little bit extra.
The Instagram algorithm has set me up for just all holistic and all not anti-government because I'm really not. But yeah, I want small government.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
No, you're not. Don't be sorry.
I'm not sorry about it. Why has our government sold hundreds of thousands of acres of our farmland to China? Why does Saudi Arabia grow alfalfa in the Arizona desert? Why are we... It's like they've put a price tag on our head and they're selling us to overseas countries because we are so indebted to China. I just love how our country is trillions of dollars in debt and they're trying to tell us how to manage and budget our money.
Yeah, it's and they just want to squeeze out every fucking dollar they have out of you too. They're like, oh, so you're making like that whole Cash App thing now, where they where anything over $600, they're just like, all right, you gotta tax that. Fuck you, motherfucker.
And they're trying to enact FedNow and stuff.
Oh
and
yes,
they said that the banking system is very antiquated, which I agree, it's kind of antiquated. But when you're coming to present an idea like that is going to further advance those who have been using this antiquated system for centuries. Or decades at least, it's going to be a huge shock. It's kind of very similar and very recent happening was the pandemic where my professors my old sweet lady professor, she literally taught from a textbook and had one of those really old projector screens with the book thing and everything.
Oh my God.
Bro. Yes. And so COVID hit and then she had to convert everything online.
Damn.
And it was really rough for her. I feel like I didn't really learn anything in the class anymore because it was just like that. You just have to convert everything to online and teach it that way. And sure, yes, academics, banking, two different things. But the same thing, if you go ahead and take a very, very antiquated system and you introduce it at an advanced rate at light speed for people that won't understand that, it's going to cause way more chaos than you think it will help.
Well, if anything, I would agree. If anything, the banking and the schooling go hand in hand because that's as you see tuitions go higher and higher, it's just more competition for each other, so they're going to raise. And that's another fucked up thing, man. School fucking loans. That is so fucked up to put on an 18-year-old right away. Hey, so you want to have this debt lingering over your head till even after you die, you still have to fucking find a way to pay it. Wait, I have to pay this in my grave? How the fuck am I supposed to do this? Again, there's just so many things that the government tries to, they do to restrict our capabilities to achieve such freedoms that, we've lost. Of course, we still have more freedoms than other people in this country, but we still are letting our freedoms go without even realizing it in front of our eyes.
Yep, it's slipping away.
And you know, before we continue any longer, I love this conversation. We could probably go for another 30 minutes, honestly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I know. I told myself, I was like, oh, I'm going to be quiet. I'm not going to talk as much because I steamroll conversations. Here I am. I'm like, shut up, Sarah.
Having a fight with the fucking devil and angel on your shoulders.
It's terrible. It's don't give
But
me
you
a
have
platform.
you have some shit to say. It's okay. You know,
do.
sometimes you gotta let it out.
Well, it's good that, you know, and that's the thing. We all have to find a platform to be able to speak our minds because, you know, especially going back to, you know, the past couple of years, there's been government censorship and overreach. You know, look at the Twitter files, you know, where they've literally government and, you know, private corporations working hand to hand to censor opinions that they didn't agree with or were against, again, like COVID vaccines or school choice, cannabis. You know what I mean? There's probably a lot of censorship on cannabis that we don't even know about. Yeah, it seems so like regular that you see it everywhere, but there's probably some censorship somewhere, you know, in different areas. You know, there's control out there. Yeah.
I mean, just like my Instagram alone, like I've had to make it private. And then obviously I put like a 21 and up age limit on it. But before I did that, I was getting flagged all the time and getting shut down all the time just for posting pictures of weed or pictures of THC. Yeah, it's nuts.
It's a crazy time. I'm really ready for people to start looking at weed differently. Here's one story I guess I could bring up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I finally was able to smoke on the deck with my soon-to-be father-in-law, and he was finishing up the deck doing his dad stuff, and he's like looking at my vape pen. He's like, what are you huffing on? What are you huffing on there? And I was like, oh well, you know, it's a vaporizer, and he's like, so you just stick it in there? I'm like, well, you know, the way I like to think about it is I take like, you know, I took a blade of grass and I was like, you know, they squish it down at like heat and pressure and they give me some sap. So then I just toke on the sap. And he's like, wow. And I was like, do you want some? And he's like, no, but I can smell it. I'm like,
wait,
okay,
how old
cool.
is how old is Showman?
He's like in his early 50s. He's really cool. He's great. Okay. I mean, but he has a very large stigma against smoking, period. Just like smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, smoking anything. Smoking hookah, just any smoke is no good smoke. But, you know, I'd never wake up with a hangover. I'm not angrily talking to somebody and I don't act irrationally when I'm smoking. So I have my vice. He has his.
Exactly.
It's a fair, even trade-off. But I was like, you know, for the longest time, I've been dating my girlfriend for 5 years now at this point. That was the first time in 5 years that I was able to have like a genuine conversation about, hey, yeah, you know, this is what it is, you know, and yeah, I can have a little bit of this and I can chill out and we can listen to Pink Floyd on the deck and, you know, chip some wood into the fire and just have a good freaking time. Yeah. You know, like it was great. It was really good. So I was like, man, I was raving to my girlfriend about it. I was like, dude, your dad just let me toke on the deck, dude.
Yeah.
Wicked awesome.
No, but that's awesome though to hear because, you know, you have these older generations now being more that had that stigma.
A little bit more open to it. Yeah. And, you know, I think it'll be a really good opportunity for them to learn, you know, I mean, one of these days I'm really hoping we can get them to try a brownie one day.
Right. That's like some hard level. That's like a whole different.
I got you on the edibles.
Oh shit.
Yes.
That's fucking awesome. No, but it's so great to hear the, you know, again.
Baby steps, you know.
Exactly. It's progress is progress. And that's what we have to, especially in, you know, this industry or any industry when it comes to the freedoms of the individual, we have to take every step we can. You know, a win is a win. And let's support each other, guys. You know, this is the start of a journey, and I'm excited to start with you guys.
Thanks for having us, man.
No, what do you mean? This is our channel. You know, thank you guys for wanting to do this, and you know, this is your fucking podcast too. This is fucking mi casa, your casa.
It's our pod. It's all of
our pod. Exactly. Yes, exactly.
3 peas in a pod.
It's not
that's a good one. That's a good. I was thinking. I was like, damn. What
green peas in a pod?
Green peas in a pod. Well, I like.
Give peas a chance.
Yes.
World peas.
Pea power. I actually might have to take that one back.
World peas.
I can't. I'm too serious.
You'll get used.
Peas a chance.
Peas a chance. Peas. Giving peas. We're pushing peas and giving them chances. But ladies, guys, is there anything you'd like to, you know, say to the audience before you head out? Any shout outs? You know, anything you'd like to say?
I mean, thank you to everyone that's listening, and thank you to everyone that's supported us and has come to past cannabis community meetings. We're really hoping to continue to keep developing on this podcast, and we truly hope to see you on August 22nd, Tuesday, 5 p.m.
I'm going to be corny and serious.
Oh.
Be gentle with yourselves. Be gentle with each other. Everyone's going through a shit ton of stuff right now. So just have a little bit of extra grace as you're kind of going about your day, going about through life. Maybe let your ego take a back seat and kind of have some ownership and, love and care for each other, y'all.
Yo,
'Cause
accountability
shit's crazy.
2023.
Accountability 2023.
That's tough.
Literally. Anyone under 65 for presidency. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm fucking. Is that you're saying? Is that you're saying you're gonna run for president?
No.
2032.
I will stay in the trenches with all of you as long as you
Lord.
will meet me there.
Facts.
I'll talk my
This
shit
World
on a
War I
federal
shit.
scale. Let's go.
Yeah, y'all ladies are awesome though. Fucking thank you guys for just creating this platform. So this is awesome. Thank you guys. And guys, most importantly, thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast. I hope you guys are doing fantastic as always. Do the best you can for yourselves and the people around you, because you know why? You fucking deserve it.
Yes, you do.
And have a great one,
Kings
y'all.
and queens.
And actually too, if you
Do
guys
it.
if there's anyone in the cannabis community that you know, or someone you would like us to talk to, pick their brain a bit, reach out in the comments or one of our Instagrams, feel free, and we'll be more than willing to have an open-minded discussion. Yep. Have a great one, y'all.